Welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about a little boy named Kyron Horman. He went missing on June 4th, 2010. He was 7 years old and he was last seen at Skyline Elementary School in Portland, Oregon. Now, I'm going to read the timeline that I found online about what happened and how it happened in this case. And then I will tell you my opinion on it. Okay? So stay tuned to get my opinion on it. Okay. Now, I want to just give this warning out there. Everything that I say is my opinion. Everything that I use is found online using the Fair Use and Fair Dealings Act. You look up all your own for yourself. Look it up for yourself. Don't take my word for it. But, like I said, and trigger warning. Right here, I'm going to give a big trigger warning. If things happening to children is a trigger for you, you might not want to listen to this one. Okay? So, here we go. This comes from the online, it's from online or the Oregon. It's the newspaper out of Portland, Oregon. Okay? Kyron Horman's missing 10 years. A timeline. On June 4, 2010, Kyron Horman was 7 years old. The second grader arrived early to Portland's Skyline Elementary School with his stepmother, Terry Moulton Horman, to tour a science fair set for that afternoon. She took a picture of Kyron in front of his poster about tree frogs. It was the last known photograph taken of him. Thursday marks 10 years since Kyron disappeared, since he was last seen at Skyline. His family has mourned his loss and continues to search for him. Kyron's mother, Desiree Young, has a vigil planned to make the 10-year anniversary, to mark the 10-year anniversary. Now, I do want to say, this interview was back in, I'm wanting to say 2020. 2020 was the last thing I could find on this. So, it's coming up on the 12th anniversary here in about 2 to 3 months. So, bear that in mind. Let's see. People will gather in honor of Kyron at 7:30 p.m. Thursday at Brook Hill Historic Church at Skyline Boulevard, and they will release balloons. This month, Kyron would be graduating from high school with his class of 2020. All the markers are really hard, Desiree told the Oregon Online on Wednesday. The fact that I don't get to be part of that, it makes me angry. Someone took that away from us, and it's not right. Public insistence in Kyron's disappearance has waned and wandered over the years. No one has been charged or even named as a suspect in his case, though his stepmother has been a frequent target of suspicion. The case is not closed. 10 years is hard, Desiree Young said. said Wednesday, I hope we aren't here in a year. I want Terry to do what's right, to do the right thing, and I want her to end this torture. She added, we just want to bring Kyron home. Authorities have called the search for Kyron the longest ever for a person in Oregon, but 10 years on, there is still no trace of the boy. Here is a timeline of the events in Kyron's case, starting from the day he disappeared. Okay, now this is the actual starting from that morning that he disappeared onward. Okay, and I also want to give a little disclaimer here. I have a little bit of trouble pronouncing words and reading. I am dyslexic, so I just want to put that out there because I stumble a lot in my reading and I might not pronounce words just correctly, so bear with me. I'm trying. Okay, so here we go. Friday, June 4th, 2010, Skyline Elementary at 8 a.m. Students and parents could tour the science fair. Terry and Kyron Horman arrived shortly after the school opened. A billboard outside read, June 4th, IB Inquire Expo 8 to 10 Talent Show 1 to 2:45. Kyron was supposed to take part in both the expo and science fair at the science fair and the talent show. Okay, that's news. I never heard that one before. Okay. At 8:15, Skyline PTA parent Gideon Zickerman arrived at the school and saw Kyron with his stepmother in front of his exhibit. Terry Horman left the school at 8:45 after watching Kyron walk towards his classroom at 9 a.m. Another student reported seeing Kyron near the south entrance of Skyline. According to Sheriff Dean Station, that was the last time Kyron was seen, though Moulton County authorities later backtracked on the statement. Class began at 10 a.m. and sometime after, his homeroom teacher, Kristen Porter, reported Kyron absent. At 1:21 p.m., Terry Moulton posted the pictures of Kyron and his project to her Facebook page. Terry and Kyron's father, Kane Horman, went to meet the school bus at 3:30 p.m. and discovered that Kyron had been absent from school all day. At 3:46, the school secretary, Susan Hall, called 911, reported Kyron missing. About 45 minutes later, officers from the Portland Police Department Bureau and the Malta County Sheriff's Office arrived simultaneously at the school and Kyron's home. An hour later, at 5:30, a broadcast was sent out to phones of parents in the Portland Public Schools that read, Kyron Horman didn't arrive at home today. At 7 p.m., Malta County Sheriff's Detective Sergeant Lee Glosson, Travis Gilmore, the county on call coordinated for search and rescue efforts of the need to begin the search. Okay, where was I? Okay. Began a formal missing persons search for Kyron between 7 and 7:15. Malta County Public Information Officer began to return pages from members of the media and arranging to meet them at school. Sometime between 7 and 7:45, Sheriff Dean Station personally called the FBI to alert them to Kyron's disappearance. The first search team arrived at Skyline School at 8:09 p.m. and shortly after, at 8:15, Sergeant Mary Lanston also arrived at the school. Met with the parents. She then began emailing a photo of Kyron to local media. Deputy Mark Horman, or how you say his name, the search and rescue coordinator, arrived at 8:25 p.m. At 9:48, Mountain Waves, an emergency commission and search and rescue group based in Greenwich, arrived at the school. At 10:40, officers reported that they had completed a search of Skyline Elementary School, including all crawl spaces, storage areas, classrooms, and outbuildings. They had also searched the Horman house. At 10:44, a tipster called 911 to make sure officers checked the train trestle in the area near the school. The call said sometimes kids play in there. Wanted to make sure someone has checked that. Okay, now, wouldn't the police officers already have checked? If they was checking all around, I'd have thought that already, but I digress. Let's move on. On Saturday, June 5th, another search group, Pacific Northwest Search and Rescue, was called by the sheriff's office at 5 a.m. Saturday. When they arrived on site, 60 to 70 people were already involved in the search. At 9:08 a.m., the Associated Press received the first official notification that Kyron was missing via an email with the subject line, "Sheriff's Office continues searching for 7-year-old Kyron Horman." That morning, helpfindmychild.net, a UK-based missing child site, created a page for Kyron and a tip line, and a tip line was created at 503-261-2847. At noon Saturday, a sheriff's spokesman said during a press conference that the search for Kyron was still a missing persons case and not a criminal investigation. Around that time, the Portland Public School District used its rapid broadcasting system to alert staff and parents of Skyline School students who were at the school Friday to come to the K through 8 school who were at the school Friday to come to the K through 8 on Sunday for debriefing by police and federal agencies. The oldest students were advised to arrive at 10 a.m. Kindergartners and first graders were to arrive with parents later in the day. 2 news conferences were held that day, one at 4 p.m. and one at 8 p.m. Authorities announced that the FBI and the National Guard had joined their efforts. Search and rescue crews completed an image grid search around the school. Now that is a search grid. It's where people line up and they're so many feet apart. So like you got 50 people, you line them up and you get like maybe 4 feet apart, and everybody just walks slow going forward. That way you don't miss anything. And you know, once the whole area is clear, then you pretty well don't have to go back over and re-examine it, like if it'd just be like 1 or 2 people in a certain area. So that's why they're doing it like that. That night at 10:23 p.m. a Facebook page was created for support of Kyron and his family. The page remains active today, and it does. I just checked it out just a little bit ago. It's still up. Sunday, June 6th, Terry Moulton Harman posted on Facebook at 8:58 a.m. saying she had ordered missing persons flyers. I ordered 1,000 flyers. They will be coming to our house. She wrote, I will let people know when they are here, and we can go from there. Thank you, everyone. That morning, the FBI announced that they had brought in some kind of base profiler to create a profile of the boy. At 9:48 a.m., the first of 300 students and their parents returned to Skyline School to be interviewed by detectives. 50 detectives were on hand for interviews that continued until 4 p.m. That afternoon, around 12:10, Kyron's relatives began distributing missing persons flyers with a photo of Kyron and this description: 3 foot 8 inches tall, 50 pounds, blue eyes, brown hair, last seen wearing a black cargo pants, white socks, and worn black sneakers, tennis shoes, Skechers tennis shoes with orange trim. At 3:30, Portland Public School Superintendent Carl Smith appeared at a news conference and outlined a scenario of immediate steps the district was taking to address security contained in the wake of Kyron's disappearance. Like I said, I have a hard time with reading, and I'm trying. The Malta County Sheriff escalated Kyron's disappearance to a missing and endangered child case at 9 p.m., but did not call it a kidnapping. Okay, so we've then went from Friday, which was the 4th. We went through Saturday, which was the 5th, Sunday, the 6th, and now we're on Monday, the 7th. Okay? In the early morning, 18 certified search and rescue volunteers resumed sweeping the area near the school as deputies conveyed the neighborhood They converged on the neighborhood, handing out flyers and jotting down license plate numbers of passing vehicles along Northwest Skyline Boulevard. I found that this is true, that they do this. They say that you never know, the culprit sometimes do come back to the scene of the crime. Now, I don't know, but that's what they say anyway. So they do this in some cases. Okay. The school district began staffing a counseling hotline, and at 8:45 class resumed at Skyline with counselors on hand. That evening, Kelly Rispin, the sister of Desiree Young, issued a statement thanking the community on behalf of the family for their continued concern and support. Okay, that was 7th. Next, we're on to the 8th. Search and rescue crews resumed their search, and a reward fund was created and announced on Facebook. Wednesday the 9th. Search and rescue crews resumed their search for Kyron in the morning, and Tyra Moulton made her Facebook wall private. At 11 a.m., FBI spokeswoman Beth Ann Steeler said the Horman family is not speaking to the media because they do not believe it is in the best interest of finding Kyron. At noon, during the news brief, Malta County Sheriff's Captain Mike Slun read a statement from Kyron Horman's immediate family. Kyron's family would like to thank people for support and interest in finding their son. The outpouring of support and concern efforts strongly gathers their hope. Affects booster their hope. We need the folks to continue to assist us in our goal. Please search your property, cars, outbuildings, sheds, etc. Also check with neighbors and friends who may be on vacation or may need assistance in searching. There are a lot of sources where to help. There are a lot of resources here to help you search. So please don't stop. It is obvious a difficult time, and they want to speak to the public so you can hear it from Kyron's family as they come together to share their message. Their objective is to keep the focus on Kyron, not about anything else. Portland Mountain Rescue Recovery. A call from Malton County Sheriff's Office to join the search at 9:45 p.m. Thursday the 10th. Search and rescue crews continue to search. Friday the 11th. The search and rescue at 10 a.m. was expanded to Salve Island. Kyron's family appeared at a news conference for the first time at 1 p.m. Tony Young, Kyron's stepfather, said, "We miss you, we miss and love you, and we need you home now." He then thanked all the volunteers and community for its outpouring of support. He was followed by Kyron Horman, Kyron's father, who also spoke about how grateful the family was to the community and searchers. The search resumed Saturday morning, and the sheriff's office asked the public to hold back on further donations of food, water, and other supplies for searchers because of the sheer volume of support rescue received at that point. On the 13th. Now he's been gone a full week. This is one full week that Kyron has been gone. Okay? On Sunday the 13th, the search resumed early in the day, but at noon the sheriff's office announced at a news briefing that the massive search for Kyron was ending, and the case was shifting to a criminal investigation. Okay? Now, he's no longer a missing child. They now think he is no longer with the living. Okay? I don't know what the guidelines are with YouTube yet, so that's just how I'm going to put it. He's no longer amongst the living. Okay? The search was one of the largest in the state history, with more than 13,000 people in Oregon, Washington, and Northern California looking for the boy. A 2-mile radius around Skyline School and part of Salve Island, which is about 6 miles from the school, were also searched. The sheriff's office also announced it was looking for any video footage of traffic on Salve Island, Portland area roads near the school. Finally, about 100 t-shirts with the image of Kyron missing posters were distributed for free. The 14th. The Malta Sheriff Office sent drivers to Salve Island where they could be seen wandering in waist-high water off the bank of the multi-channel north of the Salve Island Bridge. Now this is the 15th. Early on the final day of Skyline class for 2009-2010 year, the Malta County Sheriff's Office released a photo of a pair of glasses like ones Kyron wore when he was last seen around noon. The Sheriff's Division dive team was spotted on property near the Horman home, according to a sheriff's spokesman. The search of the pond on the property is routed at 3:36. The Malta County Sheriff's Office released a new version of the photo of Kyron at school science fair. At his school science fair, the version created using a photo editing software shows what Kyron would look like without glasses. That Thursday, 30 billboards with Kyron's picture and information went up throughout the metro area. 10 in English, 10 in Spanish, 10 in Russian. The billboards were donated by Clear Channel. That evening, a vigil for Kyron was held at sunset. Thursday, rumors lit up social media claiming Kyron's body had been found. Friday the 18th. Malta County Sheriff's Office released a flyer asking parents and kids about the day Kyron disappeared. The flyers indicated photos of Kyron, Terry, Malta, and Terry Horman, and a pickup similar to the one she was driving that day. That afternoon at 2 p.m., Captain Jones Gates said at a news conference that the family approved the flyer, and he dispelled rumors that Kyron's body had been found. So he told everybody, no, he hadn't been found. There was nobody. At 8:30 p.m., a friend of Terry's told the Oregon that she would undergo a second polygraph the next day. Malta County authorities collected flyers from parents at Skyline. Kyron's mother, Desiree, wrote an open letter to her son. A wall of hope was created outside Skyline as a tribute to Kyron. Kyron's family released 3 home videos and 200 new photos of the missing Portland second grader. Desiree and her ex-husband Kyron Horman appeared on 4 network morning shows to keep their son's story in the public's eye. The 2 announced new details about the day Kyron disappeared from school. His father was working at home that afternoon and also met the boy's bus, but they shed little light on the mystery of what happened to Kyron. It's like a portal opened up at the school and Kyron just vanished into it, Kyron's mother said. June 26th. The first of 2 911 calls made from the Horman residence off Northwest Shelter Nook Road came at 5:17 p.m. The first came in as a threat call, and the sheriff's deputies responded. At 11:39, the second call was made from the Horman residence. This call had been classified as a custody issue. At some point Saturday, Kane moved out of their home. Kane moved out of the family home, taking his 19-month-old daughter, Kyron's sister, with him. June 28th. The July 5th edition People magazine hit stands, the second issue to feature Kyron's story. Larry Malta, Terry Horman's father, told the magazines that she been subject to reputation interview. Her reputation was being destroyed. She was in interviews for up to 6 hours each, and that the truck she was driving the day Kyron disappeared had been inspected twice by the police. When police asked him whether he thought his daughter would be arrested, he replied with tears in his eyes, "It's 50-50. That's saying something. That afternoon, Fox 12 reported that Kyron Horman moved out of the family home, the family's Northwest Portland home, and had taken his and Terry's 19-month-old daughter with him. Later that afternoon, appearing appearance at her home in Northwest Portland by the organer, how do you say it? Terry Horman denied that her husband and daughter had moved out. "Everything's good," she said, giving a thumbs up. "We heard that rumor. It is just a rumor that needs to be squashed. Everything's fine." At 5:52, Kyron Horman, Desiree, and Tony Young. Tony is Desiree's husband, Kyron's stepfather. Let's see. Asked the Malta Sheriff's Office to release a statement stating they were cooperating with the investigation. Terry Horman's name was absent from the statement. Shortly after, media outlets in Portland were tapered off that Terry Horman had been served with a restraining order and a petition for dissolution of marriage at the family home. Okay. Terry Horman slipped past the crowd of reporters at the foot of her driveway and returned home at 5:30 with permission. Portland high-profile Portland criminal defense attorney Stephen Hazard in tow. Hazard stayed at the house for about an hour and later confirmed he was representing Terry Horman. Helen Jug of the Oregon revealed that the search and investigation into Kyron's disappearance had a cost of about $300,000 to date. That was just from June 4th to July 2nd. Okay. Malta County Sheriff's Dean Station said all but one of his 7 deputies were working on the case with another 14 investigators from another agency. But as Kyron's disappearance hit for the 4-week anniversary and cost mountains for the cash-strapped county, the station could not say whether an arrest or resolution was coming anytime soon, nor how long the office could afford to sustain the efforts. Ultimately, if we are unable to find Kyron, this could turn into a cold case, station acknowledged in an exhausting interview, exclusive interview with the organer. Okay. He said Terry Horman approached him with the... Okay. Now, this here is a little bit kind of sketchy. Okay. Maxon, I can't even pronounce his last name, but he was a landscaper. that Terry Harmon had hired to tend their 5 acres of land behind her husband's back. Okay? This is what he reported to the police department. Let's see. Reportedly that a landscaper who worked for Kyron's family at the family rural Northwest Portland home told authorities that the missing boy's stepmother offered to pay him to kill her husband. He said Terry Harmon approached him with the murder for hire plot 6 to 7 months before Kyron disappeared. She repeatedly offered the landscaper, who averted his experience in lawn care, and a large sum of money. So she could advertise, get him a lot more clients for his business, and also give him a large sum of money. Okay? To carry out the scheme. Kyron Horman asked a judge, okay, that was on Sunday the 4th, that the landscaper went to law enforcement. Okay, so July 8th. Now, Kyron's been gone 1 month to the day. Kyron Horman asked a judge to order Terry Harmon to move out of his house. A county judge released the petition in support of Kyron Horman, reinstating orders against his wife. Restraining orders against his wife. He filed for a restraining order against his wife to keep her away from him and her daughter. And I'm just going to give you a little heads up. He filed for divorce too. Okay. On Monday the 12th, criminal defense attorney Stephen Hezers, I'm just going to call him Stephen, notified the court that Terry Harmon would not contest her husband's restraining order or his pushing to force her out of their Portland home. In a court document, Kyron Horman asked that his estranged wife be held in contempt, saying she violated a restraining order against her by starting a SR with one of his high school friends, sharing sealed legal information, and trying to kidnap their daughter. So he found out, and I know this part's true because she said it into an interview with Dr. Phil, that she was having an affair with one of Kane's good friends. Now, she never said nothing about trying to kidnap their little girl, but she did say about the affair. Okay? In an out-of-court settlement, Terry Harmon agreed to vacate the home on Northwest Shelter Nook Road. She immediately left the home where her parents, she she immediately left her home and went to her parents' home. And that was on the 16th. Kyron Horman and his daughter, Kiara, returned to their home. The Sunday Oregon published a story by reporter Leanne Terry, in which she reported to experts around the county about why Kyron Horman's case seemed to have taken a life of its own. Thousands of children vanish every year, but there are many reasons. The sergeant upset the surrogate. This 7-year-old boy has fueled seamlessly it has spread coast to coast. Now, I'm just going to stop here. It never said, it ain't got to the point. She had another son besides her daughter. Okay? And once she had her daughter, this is my opinion on it. The little thing of the green-eyed monster came out in Terry Horman. You know, when she was first had Kyron, she thought she was getting over on Desiree. Because from everything I can find, Desiree was married to Kane. When she was about 8 months pregnant with Kyron, he turns around, and has an affair. But the mistress turns out to be Terry. Okay? And it made it easy because Desiree got sick. When she got sick, she had to change things around. She had to ask Kane to take custody of Kyron so she could get treatment. Kane couldn't do it on his own. So Terry was asked to be a live-in nanny. Her and her son. Great. She loved that. Because she was putting herself right back in that position to get into, how shall we say, the wifely spot again. So, it was okay because Kyron was still a baby. She could pretend that he was hers. But once her daughter came along, that green-eyed monster reared its head. She did not want to share Kane's love and affection with anybody else. She did not want him to spend any time with anybody other than her and her daughter. And it's just, if you look at different interviews I've seen with the teachers, they said that she would call them every day and want to know, well, how is his behavior today? And if he had any little bit of bad behavior at all, she was cracking down on him. Behind Kane's back, she was wanting Miss Desiree to take Kyron and take full custody. She loved it. But at that point in time, it couldn't be done. I don't know why, I don't know how, but they said it couldn't be done. Okay. Well, she was so jealous of not sharing having anybody else in their life other than just what she considered her little family, her daughter, and Cain. She shipped her son, her own blood son, away to his grandparents. Now, she never said nothing to her husband that she was doing it. He just came home one day and he was gone. Now, somebody's messed up in the head on that one. But she couldn't get rid of Kyron that way. Because Cain was not going to give up his son. He loved his son. He wanted to be the dad to his son. He didn't mind Tony being there. You know, being helping into that father role. But that primary father role was his. Nobody else's. So she had to do the next best thing. So, yes, I do wholeheartedly believe that Terry did something with Kyron. And she did something that no parent ever wants to think about happening to their child. And my heart breaks for Cain, Miss Desiree, Tony, and even Kiara. Because Kiara's growing up not knowing her brother. Only in photos she sees. Only in stories that her dad tells. Or maybe a story that the stepbrother might say. You know, stuff like that. But it's sad. You know, they thought there for a while here, not too long ago, there's this channel, it's called Adventures with Purpose. They're awesome. You need to go check them out. If you ain't already checked them out, you need to go check them out. They actually went to Portland, and where they thought Kyron might be, they dove into the water, because that's what they do. They are underwater rescue. And you say, well, how could they be rescuing if it's been right at 12 years? Well, what they do, they mainly retrieve like cars, adults that went missing in their cars or whatever, and they will go in and find it with sonar, and then they'll bring the car up. And 90 to 99% of the time, they're into that vehicle. Well, this time, they just went in with sonar, thought they found something, so they dove. And they dove, trying to find little Kyron. They couldn't find him. But they are still looking. Everybody's still looking for him. And if anybody has any kind of even thinking that they might have an idea of where he could be, please get a hold of law enforcement in Portland, FBI, it don't matter. or you go to Facebook. There is a Facebook page for Kyron, and go through it and just let them know. Say, hey, look, I don't know for sure, but it could be here, or it could be this, or maybe this scenario would work. Because at this point, these parents, they're willing to do anything, to try anything, to bring their son home. And even though they don't want to know it, they believe and they understand that they're more likely going to be bringing someone that's not still with us home. But it's still the closure and the peace, knowing where he's at. Not wondering, will I ever again know where my child is at? So, with that, I want to ask you guys if you enjoyed it. I also want to say I apologize for my reading. I'm trying, like I said, I'm dyslexic and I have a hard time reading. But I'm trying to get better. And I will get better at it. So, please, bear with me. I'm still learning the ropes on YouTube and all that. So, give me a little bit of grace. And if you don't mind, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and hit the notification bell. That way, you'll be notified each time I upload. And have a great day. And keep an eye open, because you never know who you're going to find or help locate. Bye, guys.